Injuries are surging up at Man United. The latest one is coming in from Facundo Pellistri. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name and I'm here to obviously bring you the latest news and information coming in from the United camp as we obviously prepare to take on Everton on Sunday. Very huge game. We need to win it. Everton have gone ahead to obviously get a deduction of 10 points, and that might obviously give them a very huge upthrust to obviously coming through and really take us on as a club of Manchester United. But we're also talking Aaron Bissaka, breaking story coming in from David Austin that he has gone ahead to get what we call an international call coming in from DRC Congo to obviously participate into the African Cup of Nations. So what do you make about that? We're obviously going to really see exactly what that is all about here onto the United Matters channel. So it's really a very good day, and lastly we'll be discussing Erik ten Hag on a rumor that he increased the intensity at which these players are really operating at that might have gone ahead to obviously cause United very many injuries that we are having this season. Something I don't really agree with, and I'm going to give you my opinion about that. So let's subscribe. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, or you've been always watching us in and you haven't subscribed, go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe and hit the notification bell. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, the Christians, may the living to God bless you abundantly. And it's coming in from the Manchester Evening News, close source to the club of Man United. Facundo Pellistri sustained an injury on international duty. That is the worst news that you'll ever want to hear if I told you Facundo Pellistri. As you push to obviously get space into the starting 11 of Man United and you've been making to the bench, meaning that you're good enough to obviously play part into any game of Man United this season, then you get an injury. But he gets an injury after putting up an assist for Darwin Núñez in the game where Uruguay beat Bolivia by 2-0, and I think they're second onto that table that is having 10 teams in South America that play that game of football and vying for the 5 positions to go into the World Cup. So that is it for Facundo Pellistri, and I think he's already back at Carrington to really undergo what we call rehabilitation and assessment to see what exactly is going to happen. We'll wait and see what Erik ten Hag is going to tell us about Facundo Pellistri in the press conference that is scheduled to take place tomorrow as we prepare to take on Everton on Sunday. So it's really huge and bad news for the club of Man United because injuries are really surging. Remember, during the international break, we had Andre Onana, returning from Cameroon, and we all thought that things are not obviously going to go on as well. But Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead and also given us an injury boost on Andre Onana, and it reads that no issues, no serious injury on Andre Onana. As reported last week, he's working with the group at Carrington. He's fine and training regularly despite small injury with Cameroon, ready to help. Manchester United. That's what Fabrizio Romano is really telling us. So that is another huge story and good story coming in from Fabrizio Romano on Andre Onana, because you would obviously need this guy to be fit to obviously be part of the game of Everton and the game away in Fenerbahce. And Facundo Pellistri being injured, that confirms to us that we now have the likes of Casemiro. It's Casemiro and Facundo Pellistri who are really injured, but the rest of the players are really back. I saw a photo of Lisandro Martinez back at Carrington doing what we call individual training. Amad Diallo is also doing individual training, and I think is going to be joining the squad of Man United very soon. And I think his return gives him a chance, as Facundo Pellistri is injured. We don't know how long Facundo Pellistri is going to be out for, but that gives Amad Diallo a chance to be onto the bench of Man United and maybe start some games, as Erik ten Hag has something special about this Amad Diallo guy. Then Casemiro, Pellistri, I think that's it. The rest of the players are really back, but they're into what we call the individual training. Tyrell Malacia is also back. He's set to join the team and really do some group training. Luke Shaw is really back for him. He has been training for the whole of this week at the club of Manchester United, that is Carrington, and I think now we have 2 injuries. So those, there is Eriksson and Rasmus Højlund. I had forgotten those, you know. So we are having 4 injured players right now, but I think with the return of Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia, Amad Diallo, I think that is obviously good for the club of Man United, and it gives us a different option of really having players that can come on and obviously kill off games for Erik ten Hag. So Facundo Pellistri is injured, taking the list of the injured players to 4. But a lot of players are really returning, and I think our season is going to start, I think, at the beginning. I think our season is officially starting on Sunday. That is it, because we at least have a squad of players that can obviously get in through and really play part into any position that Erik ten Hag wants them. So we wait and see how that happens. I'll only say, what about Rasmus Højlund? For Rasmus Højlund, to me, it's not a big deal, as I'm going to bring you that story in the next 2 hours from now, because I believe for Rasmus Højlund, he only needs time to recover well, and we shouldn't obviously rush him back. Antoine Martial can do the job. Even if Antoine Martial is really injured, then Rashford can lead the line and Garnacho plays wide left. I think we're really having very many options, you know, in the front 3 of the club of Man United, but the defense is really had the defense really had some problems, and now the return of Tyrell Malacia and Luke Shaw and Aaron Bissaka is obviously going to give us a chance to obviously compete favorably. Now let's go to Aaron Bissaka. David Austin has gone ahead to break a story that Aaron Bissaka has received an approach to represent DR Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, at the AFCON. Bissaka is yet to decide, but is considering the chance. Now, you know, I'm this kind of person who wants to obviously be very objective, and I flip the coin. Now, on the side of Aaron Bissaka, considering the chance is right, because he's like 25 years of age. So if he's that age, then England has very many good recent right backs. You know, you saw to it that even Luke Lewis was called to obviously get a debut, and Aaron Bissaka has not been called, meaning that England now has Clean Trippier, Reece James, Ben White, there is Trent Alexander-Arnold, there is Kyle Walker, and then Rico James. They're really having 6 right-sided right backs that he cannot obviously go past, and you obviously understand that his chance is not going to be there, and he has obviously to go out and really play for the DRC as the national team in the African Cup of Nations. But on the other side, you would say, why doesn't he wait, as Nketiah really waited? Because Nketiah waited forever, and finally he got his debut for the England national team, you know. And for Aaron Bissaka, I think he's coming good every other season. So you never know, with his good defensive skills and improving his offensive play, he might hold a chance to play for the side of England. But if he's to go to the African Cup of Nations, that's going to be a very huge blow for the club of Man United, as United won't be having players or a variety of players playing at the right back. Because if he goes, we'll be left with Diego Dallo for you. And that means if Aaron Bissaka accepts to play for DR Congo at the African Cup of Nations, then Erik ten Hag will have to rest and not play Dallo more often in these other coming games, to see to it that he obviously reserves him for the 8 games that we're going to play when Aaron Bissaka is away for the African Cup of Nations. That means if Adol accepts this request, he will be joining Andre Onana, Hannibal, Amrabat, Amad Diallo. taking our tally to 5 players that will be away for 8 games during the start of the year, and that is not good for the club of Man United. But never say never. Maybe the likes of Casemiro will return back with a bang, Eriksen will return back with a bang, and very many others. But we wait and see how that will pan out for Bissaka. But if at all he really wants to go that side, I really wish him luck. Let him try out his luck with DR Congo, and he will obviously get to the levels he deserves to be. And patience has been there for the England national team, but competition is really huge at the England national team. When you look at the players I'm going to hate to mention, you know, they are close to how many players? They are close to 5 that are going to be away. So that is it. Now we go to the last episode, all part of this podcast. Jamie Jackson, a United correspondent, I think, for The Guardian, has come out and said, during preseason, Erik ten Hag is thought to have upped the intensity of the training in attempt to make United title contenders. Some players believe that the poor start of the season is due to the fact that Erik ten Hag overworked the squad during the preseason. They complained that they started the season feeling as tired as when they finished the last one. This is a lie. This is a lie, because we've seen teams accumulating very many injuries. Now, do you know how many injuries Chelsea is going to hate to have? Chelsea has going to hate to have close to 11 players injured. Thiago Silva, Fofana, Buddy Shield, Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Romeo Lavia, Ahmad Broja, Nkunku, who else? Buddy Shield, Levi Colwill. So they almost had an 11 injured. So do you also believe the same reason of high intensity really costed these players these injuries? That's a lie. And I understand it's a correspondent for Man United, but certain people just sit down and obviously factor out stories to write, obviously for trending reasons. But that is a lie, because Man City has also been a victim of injuries. Have they gone ahead to increase their intensity during the preseason to obviously win the league? They've been doing the same training duels. Arsenal, you know, Arsenal, Jesus, Odegaard, Thomas Partey, Julian Timber, Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, who else? William Saliba at a certain point, Bukayo Saka. So very many players have been injured. Every team is really having a huge list of injuries. Spurs, you know, they had Udogi, though he's back, Van der Ven, James Maddison, Richarlison, you know. So you want to come here and tell me that all those players were injured because of the intensity that was increased in training? No, the fact is these players played out of football last season. They never rested enough, and then the repercussions are being felt in this season. That is it. So let's not lie. Let's not lie that Erik ten Hag increased the intensity of the team because he wanted to win the league. That's not true. Because when Erik ten Hag came through at the club of Manchester United, he obviously increased the intensity. So these players are used to this. But the problem is we really took long to set off and we really had injuries. That's why we really started off badly. So guys, your thoughts on Facundo Pellistri injured are welcome in the comment section below. Would you like Aaron Bissaka to go to AFCON to play for DR Congo? In the comment section below. And that's where I'm calling your thoughts in for. And lastly, guys, tell me your thoughts about Erik ten Hag increasing the intensity of the players that would have gone ahead to cost injuries. Do you agree with my narrative, or you go on with the narrative of the journalist? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rock and David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. The Muslims. Barak Lahu Fikum. Bye bye.